Hello everyone, welcome to today's show. My name is Spencer Walsh. We have a great one for you today. We are live on this Sunday. I'm got a new episode for you in the wake of my first ever political rally. Yes, that's right. Yesterday I went to the massive Bernie Sanders is Back rally in Queensbridge, New York, home of the legendary Nas. And boy, was it quite a time. We'll get you all the recap on that and also all the day's news. So thank you so much for tuning in. We got all that for you coming your way. So all right, let's get right into it. And of course, yeah, as we are starting with this Bernie Sanders is Back rally, and if you trust me, if you don't trust the media, if you don't trust Bernie Sanders, hopefully if you're listening to the show, you trust me, right? And Bernie Sanders is back. I could report that for you quite completely and quite fully after witnessing that really take place in his Queensbridge rally yesterday. That is for sure. We did get there a little bit late. I went with some like-minded friends of mine. And we could not get past really the press spot, which is a little bit unfortunate. Michael Moore, he spoke at 1 p.m. That was really kind of annoyed I missed that. I'm kind of a big fan of Michael Moore. And the thing is, just a little bit of a digression here, but the insane power of Michael Moore. Like, he literally got my 3 siblings who don't care at all about politics to be like, okay, Governor Rick Snyder should be in jail. Like, he's got a really simple way, a really good, effective way of laying out things to the average person, like the layman. Put it in the layman's terms for people who don't really even care that much about politics, and that's really so effective in convincing people that they need to make a change and things really are not okay. And that's why people like Michael Moore out there waking up the masses, that is so important, and that's why it's so effective, and a great tool to have on Bernie Sanders' side. And he's also a pretty damn good speaker and a pretty funny guy too. So it kind of sucks that I missed him for the most part, but he did have some good lines. Like, the only heart attack we should be talking about is the heart attack that Wall Street's going to have when Bernie's elected. That's fire. That's a good one. Yeah, he spoke at 1 p.m. Bernie spoke probably like an hour later or so, I would say. In between, of course, Jane O'Meara Sanders, Bernie Sanders' wife, opened up the rally. That was all well and good. But then, of course, we had Michael Moore throw it off to Carmen Yulín Cruz, the mayor of San Juan, Puerto Rico, and the co-chair of Bernie Sanders' campaign. She did a great job. Kind of firing up the masses, kind of bringing home Bernie Sanders' point. And then she threw it off to the legendary Nina Turner, who really, I think, has, and I know I'm not the first one to say this, but she really has a kind of really religious revival type method of speaking, which just gets you standing on your feet every time. Like, Bernie is really, and I'm sure he knows this, he's a very lucky man to have her on the campaign, because, boy, she just kills it. I'll give you a little bit of a taste of what Nina Turner had to say to the Bernie Sanders rally here. Yeah, so she kind of has really the same basic speech every time, but when she gets going, she's better than anyone in it, I think, firing up a crowd. So this is this is her at the Brooklyn rally. Yeah, so here's a little taste of what you can expect from Nina Turner as our press secretary, or whatever the case, whatever great position Nina Turner happens to be put in for her role. So here's a little taste of Nina Turner.
But it's where they stand when the vision is ahead of the people. That's the measure of a man. And I submit to you, Brooklyn, your homegrown senator has shown throughout his life his measure. And we firmly understand the mission. But today you're going to understand the man. When you are willing to stand up and say in the face of people saying that it will never happen, that in this country it is immoral for folks not to have health care, that's the measure of a man. When you are willing in the 1980s to be one of only 2 white elected officials to stand by the side of the Reverend Jesse Jackson when he's running for president. That's the measure of a man.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a taste there of Nina Turner from Bernie's Brooklyn rally. And, of course, the full rally is online. If you want to go check that out, if you have a little bit of FOMO from not exactly getting the full taste of the rally, that is totally fine. I got my Bernie sign. That's pretty much all I need. Yeah, so that was really, really incredible. Nina Turner then threw it off to Tiffany Caban, former Queens candidate of New York, candidate for District Attorney of Queens. She did a great job. And it would be really nice for her to come up as actual District Attorney of Queens, not getting that election pretty much basically. I don't want to. It was not the best. All I'm going to say, the process there was not really fully to my liking, and it's really kind of unfortunate how that all played out because it had to go to a recount and all that stuff. And it kind of really, if you notice, got swept under the rug. No one was really talking about it. People it just happened. It just happened. So, yeah, that was the unfortunate thing to hear from Tiffany Caban. But she was great. She then threw it off to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And, I mean, yeah, AOC. I was kind of in a not really the best position really for all this until AOC because I kind of had to get pushed up by the fence because the crowd, it was just so massive. And the thing was, it really was a real representation of Bernie's support, really from the multiracial, multicultural working class. Really for probably people there from every walk of life, like black, brown, Asian, gay, straight, whatever the case may be. And that was really representing the people Bernie brought up to speak for him. Kind of, again, further shattering the Bernie bro narrative. I defy you to go to that Bernie Sanders rally and come away with the feeling that, oh yeah, there's a Bernie bro problem. Like, that is so BS. Anyone who really goes there and is being honest can tell you about that. So, I mean, if you saw people talking about how people overflowed into the next street, like, they were not lying. They were not lying. It was a massive, massive crowd. Since we got there so late, it was honestly not the best viewing experience. The way it worked was, of course, you got the dais, right? The main dais where Bernie Sanders speaks. And, of course, behind that, you got the high-risers where the people stand with the signs. That's kind of in every political rally, and that's right behind the speaker, and that's probably where they get their most high-profile supporters. But I was talking to one of these volunteers there, and he was like, oh, no, I swear. It's like, it's not a very big, it's not a big thing. It's not just like, it's not like, we make a big deal out of selecting. We just go around and give out wristbands to the people who get here early. So I was like, okay, that's pretty good. So that's apparently not really select in the way that you would think. But yeah, so that was all interesting. So you got the dais, and then you got the special guests, the special guests and the risers. And then you kind of have this first circle of people kind of fenced in. That's in the closest ring of people to Bernie. It's kind of like a kind of big oval of people standing shoulder to shoulder supporting Bernie there in the first circle. That's for the people who get here. Like the rally started like 1 officially, and we got there, and it was just pretty crazy. It was really pretty crazy. Already, because that whole full circle all got their signs ready. They were cheering for Michael Moore. They were cheering for Carmen Yulin Cruz. They were all ready to go. And there were the people really with the best view of the senator, because behind them, behind that first circle of real people, like the real supporter, the real heads, as I like to call them, the real heads now. I mean, personally, I would have tried to get there a little bit early, but of course, PSAT, that ended at like 11, and I gotta get those in, all that stuff was just really a pain. Yeah, so it was like 11:45. That was when that got out. It was ridiculous. But anyway, that was the reality of this is the way life works. But next, if Bernie Sanders comes back to New York, which obviously he will for the New York primaries, probably a little bit before that, like there will be no doubt that I'm going to put in a good effort to try to get there a little bit earlier, because that's worth it. Because behind that first circle is the press, which is, I mean, obviously, I got no problems with the press. I'm not here to criticize the press, but boy, were they annoying, because they had these rows and rows of people, all these tables set up, people typing, and then these huge risers with the news cameras. Like, there's probably had to be 18, 20 news cameras up there. Like, you don't need that many news cameras. Just a few platforms, 3 or 4 news cameras, that should suffice. Like, just share a little footage so the people behind can see over you. Like, that's the real pain. If I had a half a wit about me, I would have tried to apply to a Bernie Sanders press credential for the Spence Welsh Radio Network, but maybe that's something I'll do next time, and get in with the normal, get up on those risers and not be like a peasant on the floor. But the people who showed up at 1 or after 1 were really out of luck, because there's probably 200 people that had their view completely blocked out, and they stayed anyway. Like, there was still, if you look at the pictures, there was a massive crowd of people, and you see the pictures from the back. It is hard to see. Probably 250 people could not see a thing, because of the fact that there was so many people that just could not see over those massive risers, and that was a real pain. I mean, honestly, I think Bernie should, and no joke, he should rent out some kind of stadium or some kind of pavilion or something like that, because there should be a better viewing space. There really should be a better viewing space for that, because it really kind of sucks. I don't know, get some stadium, get some vendors, get some nice food going. I think, I don't know. I don't know if that's how political rallies are technically supposed to work. I know you're going to get that raw, organic feel or whatever. But I think it would be a lot cooler if that was the case. But anyway, what are you going to do? It was definitely really, what it was a flex of the muscle for the movement. That's what it was. It was a bomb drop on the movement. All the people who said, oh, Bernie Sanders is out, his campaign is hanging in the balance, oh. Like that kind of idea. And I do want to get into some of the major quotes. It was a big flex, though. 25,872 people strong. The message was really apparent through everything they did. Even the location next to the NYCHA housing projects and the high rises were there across the river. They painted a simultaneously bleak and hopeful picture of America. And I think it was really good how they did that. Very accurate and really representative of the realities of America, how things are, they are bleak. A lot of people are suffering. A lot of people, and far more people than are not, are really living in, they're struggling to make, pay the bills. They're working 9 to 5, not really getting a lot of fulfillment out in life. And a lot of people, they are just really struggling to get that to work. And it is a tough situation for a lot of people, and that was really made apparent in the place that they chose to put the rally there, in those housing projects. And I mean, I thought of that through the day. If you drive through good portions of America, a lot of towns are just at least, well, I don't know what percentage of it is, but it's probably 50-60% of them are just towns with strip malls and a few houses. So much of America just feels like it's just hollowed out at this point. And that, I mean, you go on a road trip, and it's probably, for a lot of people listening, it's part of their lives. And that's really a reality of the way things are. There's just depressed towns really all over the place. They're in every state, regardless of skin color, regardless of who you are. There are people all around you who are really, really struggling. That's just the reality of living in America today, I think. But the thing is, they acknowledge that. They made that very clear. Bernie, AOC, they all put stats. They already all said these shocking stats that really kind of make an impact. But the thing is, they did acknowledge that we have the power to fix this. We really, really have the power to fix it. And AOC really stuck out to me when she said this